Hello viewers, welcome to English for my world. Well, for language there are three essentials, three fundamentals, three basics that act as foundation, and those three elements are grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation. I usually say this in most of my programs, and the rest of the four skills are, for instance, the first floor is listening, second floor is speaking, third floor is reading, and the last floor is writing. So, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, the basement, listening, speaking, reading, writing are different floors of this apartment. Great. Okay. Now, let us study some of the grammatical elements in this session. Well, we know that there are something called as articles in English grammar, and different articles are used depending on the context, depending on the situation. For instance, for example, a boy was standing at the door trying desperately to reach the doorbell. I repeat, a boy was standing at the door trying desperately to reach the doorbell. A passerby, by looking at the plight of the boy, came to his rescue. A passerby, by looking at the plight of the boy, the difficulty of the boy, came to his rescue. The boy said to the passerby, "Sir, let us run away from here before the old lady appears with a stick in her hand." Well, what have we learnt in this context is the question. What have we learnt in this context? What we have learnt in this context is, when you introduce somebody for the first time, we use the indefinite article a. When we refer to the person who is already introduced, we use the definite article the. For instance, I went to a restaurant yesterday. Full stop. In the restaurant, the tables and chairs are very comfortable. You see, when I introduce the restaurant, I say I went to a restaurant. When I refer to that restaurant in the second context, in the second sentence, I do not use the article a, I use the article the. In the restaurant, the chairs and tables are very comfortable, are quite comfortable. You can relax, you can have a great dinner, you can have a wonderful dinner by relaxing in that furniture. So, these a and an are indefinite articles. They are indefinite articles, and the or the, this is a definite article. A and an are indefinite articles, the or the is a definite article. Well, they are also known as a and an are general determiners, and the or the is a specific determiner. People also ask me, where do we pronounce the article the as the, and where do we pronounce the as the? Well, simple explanation for it. We pronounce the article as the before consonant sounds, and we pronounce the article the as the before vowel sounds. For instance, for example, This is the apple that I was talking about. Remember, I am talking about the variety of the apple. For instance, Simla apple, Simla apple. This is the apple, because we say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I repeat, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So, because apple, app has a vowel sound, we pronounce it as this is the apple I was talking about. Whereas, when we use THE before consonant sounds, we say this is the route to Charminar, this is the route to Golconda. There is no other route. This is the route to Golconda. So, when you say there is no other route, then you say this is the route. When you say this is one of the routes, that means there are also other routes to reach Golconda or to go to Golconda in Hyderabad, one of the historical edifices, constructions built in those days. Okay. Now, let us see, for instance, HOUR. We do not pronounce it as hour, we pronounce it as R, R. So, we always say an hour, half an hour. We never say half AR. Why? That R has a vowel sound, not a consonant sound. It has a consonant syllable there, that is H, but we do not pronounce it as hour, we pronounce it as R, R. Similarly, another interesting example is university, university. It has a vowel there, because what our teachers taught us is we have 5 vowels in English language. I am talking about school days. Of course, even in school days the syllabus is being revised. We have altogether 20 vowel sounds in English language, 24 consonant sounds. Altogether there are 44 sounds and 26 alphabets in English language. Now, university, though the letter is U, we do not use the indefinite article an before U. We always call it as a university, because it produces a consonant sound when it is pronounced, YU, YU. It does not produce a vowel sound when it is uttered or pronounced. Similarly, European, 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 European. The first letter of this word is E, which is a vowel. But we do not say an European, we always say a European. The reason is, again, the sound that is produced when European is uttered or pronounced is YU, European. Y is a consonant. So, likewise, these are exceptions which should be kept in mind, and these are also frequently asked in the academic as well as competitive examinations. So, one should be careful about this. And yes, also for acronyms, I already introduced these acronyms in one of our programs. Whenever the acronym starts with the letter S, yes, we say an SDO, an SI, an SI. When we give the full form of it, he is a sub-inspector of police, but the short form of it, acronym of that is, he is an SI, because yes, yes has a vowel sound, yes has a vowel sound. Similarly, an Xmas, an Xmas. Similarly, FRCS, F also has a vowel sound. So, we always say an FRCS. This doctor is an FRCS, an FRCS. So, SDO, FRCS, Xmas. Most importantly, MLA, MA, MCA, MBA. Whenever we have these acronyms, we must use an, which is an indefinite article, before these acronyms. He is an MA in English. He is an MBA he is an MLA, he is an MP of this region. So, these are the indefinite articles that are used in the case of the acronyms. Acronyms. A very interesting thing is O, 1 rupee coin or one-eyed man. It has a vowel that is O, but the pronunciation is A, because WA is what is pronounced when you pronounce the word V, 1 rupee coin, one-eyed man. So, a 1 rupee coin, a one-eyed man, not an 1 rupee coin, an one-eyed man, though the first letter is O, which is a vowel, because according to us the vowels are A, E, I, O, U, 5 vowels. A, E, I, O, U, 5 vowels. Right. Now, another important focus in this session is, where do we use the definite article the, and where do we drop or omit, delete the definite article the. Remember, I have used 3 synonyms here: omit, delete, drop. Okay, this is one of the best habits of developing your knowledge of vocabulary. So, use as many synonyms as possible, as many antonyms as possible. Your range of vocabulary increases. Okay, fine. We use the in the case of universal objects. Universal objects: the sun, the star, the moon, the galaxy. We also use it in the case of proverbs. Proverbs: the sun rises in the east, the sun sets in the west. Fine. We use it in the case of rivers: the Krishna, the Ganges, the Godavari, rivers. Oceans: well, the Bay of Bengal, the Arabian Sea, the Red Sea. Oceans. We use it in the case of unique positions: the chief minister, the prime minister, the CEO of this company, the chief executive officer of this company. Holy books: in the case of holy books, we use the definite article the Bible, the Quran, the Gita. Holy books. We use it in the case of superlative degrees: the fastest, the longest bridge, the longest flyover in South Asia. Well, there is a longest flyover in Hyderabad, which is the longest in Asia, is what people say. The is also used in the case of mountain chains: the Himalayas. The Himalayas is a mountain chain. It is also used in the case of countries where the names are plural. For example, the USA, the UK. The name you see, the United States of America. Similarly, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, the Philippines, the West Indies. The sound is plural, as if it is a union or collection of different states. We also use it in the case of the first part, the second part, the first row, the second row. Let us not forget that the is used in the case of musical instruments. Musical instruments: the violin, the keyboard, the tabla, the guitar. Musical instruments. Definite article the is used in the case of directions. Directions. What are they? The north, the south, the east, the west. Because these directions are unique directions. There is only one direction. Fine. Okay. So, if these are the areas where the definite article the is used, there are areas where the definite article is dropped, omitted or deleted. What are they? They are, in the case of meal that is taken in a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper, we don't use the definite article the before them. Remember, these are also useful for competitive exams. We never say the breakfast is ready. We should always say breakfast is ready. Lunch is ready, not the lunch is ready. Dinner is ready, not the dinner is ready. 1. 2. In the case of proper nouns starting with a capital letter, we don't use the definite article the. For example, the pledge that we did in our schooling days, in our school days, we always said India is my country. We never said the India is my country. So, China, Japan, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, we don't use the definite article the before the names of these countries starting with a capital letter, which are proper nouns. Also remember that we do not use the definite article before the names of games that are played. For example, for instance, cricket, volleyball, football. We never say the cricket is worshipped in India. We always say cricket is worshipped in India. People are mad of cricket. They are crazy about cricket. In each lane and by-lane you see people or children playing cricket. Okay. And the last but not the least, the most important thing is, for primary purposes we do not use the definite article the. Only for the secondary purpose we use the definite article the. For instance, for example, Ramesh is a doctor. He goes to hospital every day. Obviously, Ramesh being a doctor, he goes to hospital. He doesn't go to a playground to play cricket there. Whereas, Ramesh's father went to the hospital for a medical checkup. Now, when we say the hospital, it can be the hospital where Ramesh is working. Because for Ramesh's father, going to hospital is not a routine activity, daily activity, everyday activity. It's only a very rare activity. Whenever he wants a medical checkup, he goes to the hospital. Some hospital which has a name which is located in a particular place. So viewers, this is all about the story of articles, beginning from a, an to the or the. I said a and an are also known as general determiners. The is a specific determiner according to grammatical language. For our easy understanding, a and an are indefinite articles, the is a definite article. Well, people say the slower the better. For example, when you compare something or when you talk about an instance, when you drive a car, when you ride a bike, the slower the better. That's the reason roads and buildings, safety rules and regulations, traffic rules and regulations also say start early, drive slowly, reach safely. This is what they say. Start early, drive slowly, reach safely. So, policemen would say the slower the better. Why do you go very fast? Only to end up in a hospital. Isn't it? So, the faster the dangerous, the faster the danger. So, viewers, remember all these instances. They are, yes, undoubtedly rules, but these rules are highly beneficial, highly useful in not only speaking English but also in writing correct English. For example, in your letters, in your emails, in your SMS messages or WhatsApp messages, whatever language you write, try to follow the correct nuances, the correct rules of these articles. Try to use correct English. Well, we all tend to make mistakes. We do make mistakes. We learn by making mistakes, but mistakes should not become part and parcel of our life. We should try to overcome those mistakes. We must try to avoid those mistakes and reduce those mistakes in a period of time or over a period of time, so that our language sounds more natural, crispier, and most importantly correct. The listeners who listen to us should appreciate the correct language that is being spoken, and the readers who read your messages, your letters, your reports, your articles should feel the correctness, the beauty, and most importantly the way the message is properly carried across, conveyed to the listeners or readers. Well, there are several examples. Also, there are several mistakes that are conducted in the usage of these articles. These mistakes are committed because of faulty pronunciation. Faulty pronunciation. I gave you several examples such as SDO or FRCS, Xmas or MLA. Most importantly, one-eyed man, 1 rupee coin. And not to forget the other exceptions of these usage of articles, that is European, university. Please do not forget that lunch, dinner, supper are not preceded by the definite article. You must have seen lodging and boarding are available. Well, the correction here is lodging and board are available. You don't say boarding, lodging and board facilities are available. Fine. Do not forget that you also do not use the definite article the before the names of games, cricket, volleyball, football. And yes, if it is a daily activity, routine activity, we don't use the definite article the before the nouns. I am a doctor, I go to hospital. He is an engineer, he goes to his office, he goes to office every day. But we should never say he is an engineer, he goes to the office every day. That will become a mistake. Well, let us not be bothered about, I am not trying to frighten you by highlighting the rules of these articles, but what I am trying to do in this program is to support you, to help you to internalize, to familiarize yourself with the application or the functional use of these articles, so that your language is used more confidently and appropriately, because appropriacy is something very, very important in our communication. When the appropriacy or when the relevance misses, the listeners would feel the message as boring. When the relevance misses in the piece of writing, the reader would feel it boring. So, as far as possible, try to use correct English. Of course, I am a grammarian, so I am particular about these areas. In addition to your content, the correctness in language is extremely important. For example, you are an engineer, you are a doctor. For you, your subject is important, your core subject is important, your message is important, not the language. But in addition to your core subject, if the language is taken care of, if the language is free from mistakes, how beautiful it would be, how wonderful it would be. So, think about it, think about it. I also encourage most of the students about it. For instance, most importantly, people who are studying, students who are studying engineering, they would focus more on their core subjects by keeping or brushing aside the importance of language. But when it comes to the actual day of their job interview, or when it comes to the final year of their job interviews, where the placement drives happen, where the HRs come and sit with them, that is where they feel the lack of communication skills, they feel the lack of confidence, they feel the lack of courage among them. Why? Because of less practice, because of poor practice, and also because of poor reading habits, mind you. Read standard newspapers such as The Hindu. I strongly recommend standard newspapers such as The Hindu, because you will learn lots of phrases and expressions. Most importantly, correct language, language that is free from errors, language that is standard, language that is universally accepted. And yes, you have lot of social media that is available nowadays. You can learn language from videos, lots of messages that are posted on WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. So make the best use of the social media that is available. Own those expressions and phrases. Use such correct phrases and expressions, and let your language stand out. Let your language stand out. That should be different from others. Your language should not be the same that is used by everybody. Your language should be outstanding. Outstanding. You will attain that perfection over a period of time by practice, because that's what it is said, that practice makes one perfect. Viewers, that's all I have for you in this program. Try to remember all the nuances of indefinite, definite articles. Try to listen or try to watch many more videos on this. There are many videos that are also available on internet about these kinds of programs, and let your language or use your language correctly and fluently. Thank you very much for watching.